Hockey Town celebrated 3 championships in 7 years, and rarely has someone so tough played so pivotal a part.
McCarty draws. McCarty in. McCarty scores! A magnificent goal! Darren McCarty!
Show that play. Lariano. Shanahan. There it is. He scores! The Red Wings have defeated Colorado. Darren McCarty.
Here's a break at center. McCarty. Up for McCarty. Scores! Darren McCarty!
Here's Volpe and McCarty in. McCarty scores!
I love you, but you're a mess.
I am a mess. I'm a work in progress, I guess you could say. We got to get right to it. Yeah, folks, I do know it's Friday, and we usually do this on a Wednesday night, but this being June the 7th, let me repeat, June the 7th at 8:16 p.m. Why is June the 7th? Perry Vellucci, who's always with me except that one time. Why is June the 7th important to me?
What happened? 22 years ago, what happened?
Oh, I beat one guy one-on-one for the only time in the history of my career. And that was just, Perry, what do I say? If you're going to do it when it counts. It was for the cup-clinching goal, and today's the anniversary. Also, we're celebrating all day long. If you look at Grind Time with Darren McCarty on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, we've been all out promoting The Russian Five. The Russian Five movie is out in the same day. Implore everybody to see, how I feel about that. But this is a special edition. I'm going to get right to it because I know what it's like the night before a game. And I also, too, this work in progress also, too, if anybody knows me very well, I've turned into a huge motorsports fan. And it's of one thing that I know nothing about. I know where the gas tank is, and this has been a learning experience from the ground up for me. So the special Grind Time edition, I'm joined in studio by Mr. Ryan Ellis. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. How are you?
And on the phone, you're hot, buddy. You are hot. Mr. Michael Annette in the #1 JR Motorsports car this weekend at Brookline. I will be out there. Thank you very much for joining me, Michael. How are you tonight?
I'm doing really good. I didn't know you had my boy Ellis in studio with you.
Well,
I feel sorry for you guys. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I see now that I'm such a like a geek and learning, because I'm gonna get one thing straight. And it's a bucket list thing. I get to drive the pace car on Sunday for the Monster Energy Series. But just the fact I've never been to a NASCAR race. I've been to a bunch of IndyCar, but I watch every week. I watch you. I watch the Xfinity Series. I watch the trucks. I watch drag racing. The one thing, it's called Grind Time with Darren McCarty, and what I look for is storylines. And you both have different storylines, but you're both guys that have a little bit of a hockey background. So, Michael, will you, for the Grind Time people at home, just tell us where you're from and your little what's back to hockey? And obviously, dude, you're hot and excited about what you think about this weekend and Saturday's race for you in the Xfinity 250, probably, right?
Yep. I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa. Played travel all the way up to playing for my high school team my freshman sophomore year, the Des Moines Capitals. Then made the move to Chicago, Illinois, and played midget major for Team Illinois my junior year, and was playing up here in Detroit against Honey Bake, Little Caesars, everybody. And,
who would you have played against? And first of all, what position did you play?
I played defense. I'm 5'10". I was 5'10", $180.
You know what? Sorry, bro. You're not helping your cause that much as far as a defenseman, and also too is that you go fast and are putting your life on the line. Especially, it's like some of these tracks is like bumper cars. So I get the hockey mentality into the race car, but wow, the defenseman. So you went to midget, and you played. Did you play in against any of the NHL guys? Because with the Little Caesars program and the Honey Baked, like you mentioned, there's a lot of guys that came out. Do you remember any names that played pro?
Yeah, I mean the most notable, that year I played for Team Illinois, we played against Shattuck St. Mary's, I think, 5 times, and that was during Crosby's time at Shattuck. So played against Sydney. Actually played against him in the national championship that year, and he made me look like a street cone in the championship game. He got the first goal against me. put them up 1-0, and it actually ended up being the winning goal. So still don't forget about that one, but pretty cool who it was that made me look like an idiot. But so definitely he was the most notable, but went on to play Junior A in the USHL for the Waterloo Blackhawks for 2 years, and that first year we actually won the Clark Cup, and the captain of my team that year was Joe Pavelski. So
Wow.
those two definitely the most notable.
No, speak of like for the, obviously I love the correlation, the hockey and that. And so Joe Pavelski, back in that day, what for you, because obviously you got out of hockey, what made you transfer into racing as opposed to, maybe something else or gone deeper into hockey?
For me, like when I was born, my dad owned a World of Outlaws sprint car team. And I grew up.
See, I'd drive one of those. That looks like fun. That looks like fun. It looks dangerous, but it looks like fun.
Yeah, definitely the most fun race you can ever go watch. I still think winning. I don't know if you know what the Knoxville National is. It's their Super Bowl. It's their Daytona 500 for that form of racing. Still think that's the coolest race you can ever go to in any form of auto racing. But anyway, so when
is that?
It's Ellis probably.
I was going to say maybe
could
July.
Clarify, but I want to say
July,
the second week of August.
So
okay, yeah, it's July or August.
Right, so but it's in the summertime. So people out there, like, that's something, and these are things that are awesome. I never knew, and watching different. You guys will, and first of all, you guys will race anything. I mean, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like you guys, what I've learned is that the cars go the fastest, right? Because if you could race airplanes, you probably would. But that's just a whole nother level. But so you grew up around it in the dirt track, right? So did you fall in love with it? Was it always your first love?
Yeah, definitely. And then it was really, honestly, my mom putting the kibosh on me getting a race car. She'd seen enough people get hurt and killed that, it was over her dead body. I was getting in one. And that's kind of, my dad owned that team, and he got sick of spending the money. And I had a couple buddies that were going to hockey practice. I think I was in second grade, and the next day I was buying skates and learning. So it was a quick transition into hockey. And then, not kidding, that second year in the USHL, we lost in the first round in playoffs, and I was in a race car the following week. And like I said, I was 5'10", $180. Probably I was always the I was the Rudy of the team, the least talented, but just trying to grind and try to belong there. So for me, it was going to be D3 for 4 years, and then probably go work for my dad's trucking company, which would have been a great life. But like you said, racing was my first love, and opportunity presented itself. So lucky it worked out the way it did. Not a lot of guys that are in our sport can share the locker room stories that I have from those years with the boys in the locker room, and memories, that they really don't get to have. And really, when I try to tell my stories, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about or really get how cool that experience really is.
So what do you find that now, because you've been around the racing game for a while, racing different things and in and out, from racing at all levels, the trucks, Xfinity up at the top, then, now having some success back Xfinity with JR Motorsports in that number one car, which, by the way, looks great. It's always the number one is supposed to be near the front, isn't it? I mean, isn't that why they gave it the number one? But
yeah. I mean, going back to that team, that sprint car team my dad owned, it was number one. It was a black TMC. It was the best looking car that's ever been on a racetrack. And, always been my dream to drive that one car, and it never worked out. And about a month before this season started, my dad called me and said, "Hey, do you still want to drive that one car?" And it was, hell yeah. I mean, we had T-shirts made, hats made, everything with the 5 on it that I ran the past 2 years, and it didn't matter. Wasn't going to pass up a chance to run that one car.
All right, now I got a couple racing questions. So obviously, being at different levels, and it's not like you've had to in this business had your highs and lows, your ups and downs at different things. I know for me in the last 10 years, in being out of my sport, trying to find my way, and the way that you've got it now, what do you think is attributing to a lot of your success and a lot of your top 5, top 10 finishes and win here this year? Because it doesn't see, to me, watching you race and the team around you, and I know I've read a quote that you said before when I think it was your first win, and it really, the guy who, your crew guy is really important. Your team is really important. I think the correlation between hockey and especially now the playoffs and team into driving at such a high level and being a champion or vying for titles or every week. What do you notice that difference, or is that a huge thing in NASCAR too?
Yeah, I mean, like you have coaches that you're excited to go to practice and you're excited to play well for them, and you had coaches that you're scared that you're going to piss them off and you don't want to go back to the bench because you fucked up. It's
the same way then. You guys got Scotty Bowman's out. Like, I mean, I guess if the General Penske, I mean, he's like a Bowman-esque, but there's, you got, I guess people can correlate that because a lot of things in a hockey dressing room is you don't want to let the guy down next to you. Like, forget it for me. I mean, pick on me all you want. I mean, I'll decide, when I've had enough, but if you pick on somebody else, I'm going to get upset. So that is funny that you say that, like, is that like what happens when I see you guys, like, if you a wreck or something where you maybe in a qualifying where you make a wrong move or a mistake? I mean, you're only going, 180 miles an hour? I mean, gosh, shame on you. But so is that when you're comfortable? So the coaching, the management, the culture, right, is the important part, is what you're telling me. It makes it a lot easier to be a better driver?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when I was in Waterloo. As you walk, you were taking the ice and coming out of the locker room, we had a rope hanging there, and it was all about, holding the rope and everyone pulling the same rope at equal. And to me, as a driver, our job literally on paper is to show up to the plane, to be at the racetrack for practice on Friday at whatever time. That's really all we are supposed to do. But you got your crew guys that are in the shop Monday till whenever, Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. till whenever they need to get the car done and be ready to go. And if you're, they're working their tails off and they got families to support. And, if I'm not putting in the same amount of effort, like we got my home race, Iowa, coming up next weekend. And I get the question all the time, do you put extra pressure on yourself for your home race to go out there and win at Iowa? And to me, it's like, man, if I put any extra pressure on myself or treated this weekend different, that means I'm selling these guys short, for every other race where they're working just as hard. So yeah, it's more of a team sport than anybody will ever understand. It's probably one of the hardest things to explain to people. But, what I tell people, that team in Waterloo, PK O'Hanley, the best coach I ever played for, he, how it is. In juniors, it's 35 guys from all over the country, come together in some small town in the Midwest, and to get everybody to buy into that same goal. I watched him do it with 35 kids. I think I can get 8 adults to buy into a goal, and it definitely when you find that chemistry and that connection and everybody's bought in, sometimes it's way more important than the car that's actually handling perfect.
That's important because that's sort of the analogy of life, and sort of like taking of what you, because the toughest thing would be is the things you can't control, right? Where sometimes you think that you got a better chance, and then all of a sudden, here comes somebody down, wipes you out, and you didn't even see it coming. That frustrating part of that sport. See, in hockey, you beat somebody up, then you go to the box for 5 minutes and you feel better. I mean, that was the best part. Here I see the guys, smash their cars, but those are only the guys with the money. Right, because if you don't have the money, wrecking a car is no good. But that's an interesting analogy. So, have both of you, or I guess 'cause you're racing tomorrow, Michael? Have you been out on the? Did you do practice lap today? Did you get out at MIS to the Brookline today in the car?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got 3 other teammates, and all 4 of us are pretty strong. There's 3 guys in our series this year that are really just they're kicking ass, and everybody's kind of trying to play catch up to catch them, and they're fast again this weekend. But all 4 junior motorsports cars are we're close. It's kind of how it's been all year. We're having a really good season, but we're not the best. So yeah, we're not good enough right now. But it's kind of how the weekend's going again. We're still trying to find speed to get to where they are, but it's not for like I said, how hard my guys work. It's not for a lack of effort, and things are going to happen tomorrow. And as long as we're up front and get restarts, that's one thing that's so key here is restarts are huge, and but you got to be up front to take advantage of everybody else's misfortunes. So we'll see. We got to find some speed here overnight and get a little bit closer where those 3 guys are, but we're close, so we'll be there tomorrow and we're gonna have some fun, that's for sure.
So what do you do to find speed? Like just stay up all night? Like, I mean, that's the whole thing is like a different lines and different things like that, or like what do you do? Sit up, if you sit up enough and think about it, because to me, how would I understand like what you're going to try to do? Take different lines, set up the car differently. How does it want to be set up for specifically like this racetrack, and what makes Michigan MIS, I guess, the international, because of the speed, right? Because
yeah, we're doing. I think today they were showing it was 205 going into the corners, and the MIS it's so smooth. And even though
wait, stop! You might want to button that up for all my listeners in Michigan, because I just found out where the smoothest roads are in this state. It's at MIS, and you guys get to come in and use it. So, all right, we know that. So it's a smooth track, right? Which helps. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but I didn't want anybody getting mad at me.
Yeah, no, it's probably one of the smoothest racetracks we go to, and the tires really don't fall off, meaning we don't slow down from lap 5 to lap 20. We're maybe slowing down 0.3 of a second, which is not much at all in our sport. To some tracks, you'll slow down 2 seconds in that amount of time. So just a ton of on throttle time. It's, I said we need to find speed overnight. Probably one of the hardest things to do in our sport when you unload off the truck on Friday and you go out to practice. A track that's this smooth, that much on throttle, you kind of got what you got. But as like you were talking about finding different lines, it's just like watching tape going into a hockey game. We've got tape from 5 years back of in-car cameras, race coverage, and you just sit there and study it all week. I was watching it on the plane right here this morning, watching in-car camera from 2017. Just listening to guys throttle techniques they're using, just all the studying you can do, just like you would prepare for a hockey game. Same thing we do, and something I'm watching IndyCar qualifying right now. Turn on the truck race, and when that's over, I'll be watching more tape from 2017 again.
Now, can you pick up something watching? So if you're racing on Saturday and this is a truck race, say, on the same racetrack before, or are they two different? Because I would think that some of the Monster Energy guys are watching the Xfinity, even though the cars aren't the same, just to see what lines, or if because different tracks, you watch you guys draft each other, like you said, Junior Motorsports has 4 teammates, so when you guys can get together and draft at a draft track, is Michigan a track where you guys can help each other out?
Yeah, you can definitely help, and you can definitely hurt. You can hurt other people more. You can probably help here. You can get up to a guy's door, and those 2 cars will stall out, 10-mile-an-hour slower to a guy catching them. So it's a track really prone for that. But to me, when there's a truck race, or like there was an ARCA race this afternoon, I just got done watching this here at MIS. But the Cup guys will be watching us. I watch truck races. They're in Texas this weekend, so not a lot of help, just fun to watch. But restarts are where I think we learn the most, watching the under series the night before, just seeing what trend happens, what lane you want to be in. Are guys taking it 3 wide? Is there grip in the third lane? Just stuff like that. I think Ryan will tell you, we learn the most watching restarts from the night before our races more than anything.
That's very interesting, and more so it just dawned on me. You guys are like, you're quarterbacks. You're quarterbacks of the race team as far as the way you prepare. The video, it sounds like I'm watching like Tom Brady, or I'm talking to Tom Brady, how he's always, what makes him better is attention to detail, right? And it goes to show everybody out there is what I always preach. The only thing that I found, and I always say, find something you love to do, because you're only going to be successful with hard work. I mean, everybody you telling me that from every walk of life that I talk to, and you're going out there to race, and it's hard work, what you put in, and like you said, 8 adults trying to accomplish the same thing. Sometimes it's harder than a bunch of children, but at least there's a goal in mind, and that's what I hear here. But it's not like, oh, turn on the car and go. There's so much into it. Now, like, what is now, on a more important question, did you have a favorite driver and a favorite hockey player when you were growing up?
Yeah, as a driver, it was obviously the guy that drove for my dad. His name's Sammy Swindell. Hell, he's
a legend. Hey, if I know that name, dude, I've been watching. I've been paying attention a lot. That they do the one thing about it being a beginner or more of a new fan is, I think that the way that all the broadcasts and the way that the access with you guys and stuff is, that to even having these conversations is it's such something you want to be a part of. Like, you don't even understand how stoked I am to be there on Sunday and stuff like that, just because I've never been in that atmosphere. But so it's back to Mr. Swindell.
Yeah, and answer your hockey question, it was always probably Peter Forsberg or Chris Chelios. Interesting, because they're 2 really skilled guys, and like I told you, I really had none, so I'm not sure where that came from. But something I did just remember, in a guy that I played with when I was at Team Illinois, that junior year of high school, and I don't think you ever played with him, but I'm sure you know his name. But Jared Bull.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's that kid was tough. I always loved him because when I saw him do an interview or video, and he said his favorite player was me in the grind line. So I always liked that. And he's tough as nails, bro.
Michael, this is Perry Vellucci. I'm a co-host with Mac here. He played for my brother with the Plymouth Whalers.
Oh, so you know Gino Paisolini,
oh,
too.
we all know Gino Paisolini.
Yeah, he's a TI boy, yep.
Hey, Gino sends me a picture the other day, or you might have saw he posted it, and he said the way that tough guys are, because he saw a picture of him getting punched in the face about the only time, and he sent it to the guy who he taught or whatever, yeah. But that's the memories. So, oh man, you're in the family now. Now, Perry's brother coaches the on the brink of winning the AHL championship, Carolina Checkers.
Charlotte Checkers.
Yeah, and that's 20 minutes from my house where they play.
Have you been to any of those games?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah, the Wolves. Yeah, the Wolves. Yep.
That's one thing that's kind of sad though. Heck, that first game of the finals, I wasn't able to make it, but I saw a video clip, and hell, that arena wasn't even full. That's the sad thing about hockey around the Charlotte area. Like, I would love to be in a beer and peanut league, but hell, I got to drive an hour to the closest rink. It's just that's the worst part about living there in the Charlotte area. They don't. You go to a sporting goods store and you can't. I mean, there's not a hockey stick sitting around.
What hand do you shoot?
Right-handed.
All right, bro. We can get you hooked up. Do you still play at all? Do you skate at all? at all? Because I
I
know
told
this
you-
guy's sitting across from me takes his bag on the road.
Yeah, I tried to get you to play on our adult league team.
Yeah, right. Well, Ryan and I we were supposed to play in a 3-on-3 tournament together here in the infield at the racetrack, and it was too damn hot, and they couldn't keep the rings frozen.
Oh, was it
February?
February?
It's
Yeah,
around the same
'cause
time as Daytona.
will you guys? Because I think they're gonna try to do that next year too, aren't
Yeah,
they?
it got rescheduled to the week we were in Daytona.
Oh, too bad. So if they do it original date next year, you guys could
Yep.
make it.
Yep.
Cause
Yeah, hell, we
Dude,
we had the,
have the jerseys
jerseys
and
and
everything.
everything. Yeah, I got a personal endorsement deal with Gong Show.
you do?
So- yeah,
they're
they-
beauties,
Oh,
man. That's
that's
awesome.
awesome. Yep.
See,
Yeah.
I love the connection of like that. That even makes me want to, root for you more. And it's one of those things too. Is that I want to know is that you're both Ryan's racing next week, the 99 up in Iowa, and he was telling me about a small track and stuff like that. But is there a track on because obviously I'm taking it that I'm not going to go spend my $1.50 and bet you this weekend, even though I was in the fastest two-seater in sports leading the Detroit Grand Prix last week with Connor Daly, and he got picked up for his ride in Texas this week. If you're watching the qualifying while we're talking and he does anything, let me know because I talked to him the other day. So, yeah, no, it's awesome. Any tracks coming up or any of the races left coming up that you feel good about because you like or you race well there?
Hell, a year ago or 2 years ago, I wasn't very confident, but with the season we're having now, I'm excited for every weekend. Like I said, we got some work to do to catch those guys that were fast today, but it's, we definitely got a chance, but all of them coming up. Iowa, like I said, home racetrack. I've ran well there in the past, and hell, what we need to talk you into in, I think it's 3 weeks, we're at Chicago, which is not a far drive from Detroit, and I guarantee you we're going to have a really good run there. And like I said, I think that's about 3 weeks from now.
All right. Yeah, I'll look. I will definitely check the schedule, dude. You don't know about me is I'm like a fanaticaler when it comes to that. My other question that I always wanted to ask, what's it like when the guys from the top series drop down, and is that why? Like I don't understand how that's got to be like great. You get to race and beat it, but why do they allow that? Is it just just a technicality and stuff like that, or?
Well, they allow it because they hope that it's going to bring fans. If they say Kyle Busch or Jimmy Johnson or 5 or 6 of those guys are running on Saturday afternoon, they're hoping more fans will come watch the Xfinity race rather than save their money and just come on Sunday afternoon. They're trying to put butts in the seats for our races, but I get asked the question all the time, do you enjoy them coming down? And for me, I always enjoy it. Why wouldn't you want to learn from the best in the lower series? Like I spent 3 years in the Cup Series 2.5 years ago, but when I got there, I felt like I was better and, wasn't as nervous, racing door to door with those guys because, I'd spent 5 years racing against them in the Xfinity Series. I think it just prepares you to be a better driver once you make it to that premier level, which should be everybody's goal. So I embrace it. I take it as a learning opportunity. It's like you go play a pickup game. If you were to show up, I wouldn't say, oh, no, we don't want you out here. You're better than us or you got more experience. I'm going to sit there and enjoy watching and learn as much as I can.
Absolutely. Now, does that in your opinion, is the biggest difference between the Xfinity and the Monster Energy? Now, my thing is it the depth of the field, or
Yeah,
is it and because of where the money, like more teams, because there's more money? Connor Daly explained it to me that in Formula One, they have $500 million. Like that's the billionaires club, right? And then when you have IndyCar, you got a budget of millions of dollars or stuff like that. Because it's just unbelievable how different levels from your point of view. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, like the Cup Series, it costs a lot more money to gain 0.2 as a lap, and when you look at Xfinity, the field is definitely smaller. You know, you're looking at maybe 10 cars can win a race, and Cup Series, there's 20 of them, so definitely depth of field.
Right on.
Hey,
So Perry's asking permission. He put his hand up here. I might start a fight here with the guy this douchebag friend of mine that has other podcast on this that actually owns a house we podcast at. There might be a hockey fight breaking out right in front of Ryan here. But Perry, please ask your question.
So Michael, I was wondering, what type of defenseman were you, a hockey player, and have you translated that over to being a driver?
He got cut off. That's how boring
We're
that
going to
question
call him
was.
back.
What? Yeah, we will call him.
Well, you fucking
back.
went on your
Hey,
tangent.
that is bullshit, Walters. I know you did it to taunt me, but if I didn't have the guests,
I'm fine.
I mean, you
I
can
just
treat
think.
me
I just
the way
think.
you want, but when I have guests in here and I'm on the phone. I blew a tire. Perry blew a tire in the corner. We got to call you back in, or maybe I don't know. What do they call it? The penalty through. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that, buddy. But
So, Michael, my question to you was, what type of defenseman
are you now? Because I'm drafting for the beer league team.
What type of defenseman were your style of play, and have you used that? Does it help you as being a driver, and then winning the cup? What was the
Clark Cup.
The Clark Cup, winning that. So you know what it's like to be on a winning team. Does that help you translate as you're having a good run this year?
I mean, to answer your first question, I wrote on my stick. Actually, the coach made me write it on my stick. KISS, which for people who don't know, keep it simple, stupid. So that was my style of play. Get the puck, get it out of the zone, no turnovers, and just as simple a game as you can play. And, I remember we were out celebrating after we won the championship, and one of the most skilled defensemen on our team had a few cold guys and was being honest. And he's like, man, I wish I could play like you. You were the most simplest guy I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't want the puck, because if I have it too long, I'm going to screw it up. So I was much better if the puck wasn't on my stick. That's for sure. But as far as taking, that season and winning that championship, for me, it's what I learned. It's just all about attitude. Like Darren was talking about being the quarterback. Not only are you're trying to do your job at home to be prepared and lead the team, but just like I talked about, PK being such a good coach and Pavelski being our captain that year, just his leadership and attitude, and that's what my crew chief Travis Mack, that I attribute so much success to this year. He's right there with me, being a leader of the team. The guy just doesn't let you believe anything other than we're going to be successful at this, and we're going to do everything we can. His brain never quits working on how to make our team better. If we're watching tape together, and I'm like, man, I've really struggled at this track in the past, or man, we weren't very good last year. He's like, well, what was wrong? What do we need to do different? Because I plan on walking out there with a win or a top 5. It's just, it's his mentality and instilling the confidence in myself, and that bleeds over to the guys working on the car. It's just, it's a trickle down effect. But like Darren was saying, we're the quarterbacks. It starts with us, and not every day in our sport, like he said, so many things are out of our control. but if you can have fun doing what we're doing, make the bad days not so bad, it makes everybody excited to go to work the next day and make the team better.
Here's one of my final questions before I let you go. As Michael Annette gets ready to get into the car tomorrow, what is his motivation that when he gets out of bed, in the morning, and when he realizes that he's a race car driver? Because what motivates you to do everything that you're talking about to be successful?
I mean, for me, the epitome of it was when we won Daytona this year. And I had 2 really dismal years with Junior Motorsports the past 2 years, and I've had the same guys pretty much working on the car. And they saw my teammates winning, rattling off top 5s, top 10s. And, we got banners hanging in the shop for each race win. The trophies are sitting around, and they had to go in and stare at those. And we ring the victory bell. The whole shop rings it no matter what car wins. And they're sitting there ringing that bell for the other teams, the other cars, to get out of that car in Daytona and Victory Lane and spend that whole week ringing the bell for what we did, hanging the banner for our win, and just the smiles on their face. And it was so great that it happened at Daytona, our first race of the year, because we're still riding that momentum, and the smiles are still on their faces because, we are having a pretty decent year right now. It's just that it's seeing the hard work for those guys, come to fruition, and just they deserve it. And I was glad to finally, after 2 horrible years, get it for them. And it just makes you want to keep that going. You wake up and you're like, man, I would do anything to be celebrating with these guys tonight, and that's what it is. It's you love the sport. I love being able to pull off a move that you're probably not supposed to be able to, and get out of the car and laugh about it and say, how the hell did you pull that one off? And you can't wait to go back and watch it. And it's fun to be able to do stuff that not everybody gets a chance to do. And, just try to be Evel Knievel. He's one of my heroes growing up, and, try to do shit that no one else ever gets a chance to.
Well, I for one have really enjoyed learning about you, but watching you this year and the appreciation and what you talk about, because to me it's about individual stuff's great, but it's about the team, and it's about the motivation, and that's what Grind Time here with Darren McCarty is all about. Is you can't see, but we just got the pizza in here, Jets Pizza, and we're all excited. But I wish you continued success, sir, no matter how it goes this weekend. And, we'll be cheering for the number 1. Grind Time with Darren McCarty as Xfinity Racer is the number 1. Michael Annette in the JR Motorsports. What color is the car? Red, right?
It's black this weekend.
Wow.
We got Allstate Parts and Service Group on it. It's a badass looking car. It kind of looks like Dale Earnhardt's car. It's flat black on top, white and red trim on the bottom, white number. It's a badass looking car.
I love it, dude. Well, continued success, and number 1, be safe, and we'll catch up down the road. Thanks a lot for joining us, bud.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you need to get over to Chicago. That'd be a lot of fun. But thanks for having me.
I will keep that in mind, and you know what? You'll learn like everybody else. You got to watch those soft invitations, because D-Max shows up everywhere. Good luck, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Michael Annette. We're driving number 1. How many races, Ryan? So, did you not want to eat, or is it?
I just ate,
because
like,
you
right
can't
before I
fit in the
got here.
car, or what? What'd you go with?
Potbelly. We don't have that in Charlotte. Potbelly, the sandwiches.
Where'd you go with?
I used to work there when I
Did
was
you
in like
really?
high school. Yeah.
No way.
I just got a little roast beef sandwich on the way here. I didn't know if you guys would have food, so grab some stuff.
We usually don't, but for you, and Mike tried to make it so you almost didn't. Like, he was probably trying to shove this in the oven.
He's trying to hide
He
it.
does,
Throw it in
yeah.
the fridge.
That's the way he does that. Little poop.
It's all good.
I'm gonna kill your poops, you
They're gonna get some
later.
Little Caesars up here.
Yeah, we would, but the good stuff's down at the Little Caesars. So to get it to eat, right? Exactly. Which that? So you're from Virginia, right? Which Sunset over here, Cap Sunset, Ronnie Gemshine, I got him out of Florida, and I figured out why when he goes, thanks, dude. It's hot as the Sahara right now in Florida, so I guess it's hot. How hot is it, bro?
It's Africa hot, brother.
Africa hot?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've been pushing 100 degrees for the last month.
And you were just in Nashville, so it was cool there, and now you brought this nice weather here, a little combination.
That's right. I couldn't come up here and freeze. You know that.
No, dude, that's unbelievable. So you're sitting here. You got your Washington Capitals Stanley Cup champions, which, by the way,
1 year ago today.
Perry, right? Which the 7th is a great day. Perry, well, I'm going to eat this delicious slice of Jets pizza because the 8th corner square. I just call it like I'm eating it. Will you explain to him after Washington went down 2-0 in the first round what I said to you, sir, as we were watching this game before Game 3 of the first round last year? That's cool. Oh yeah,
Look at that. He knows. He knows.
No, that's my goal, bro. That's 22 years ago today.
But yeah,
Perry, so last year,
Darren and I were watching Game 3.
Perry Vellucci, co-host. That's what he says.
That's I have to have better than your titles you give me. So we were watching Game 3, and he said, "You know what?" He goes, "I got a feeling this Washington team. They're a good team. They remind me of our 0-2 team." And
if you're gonna retell a story,
Not telling it right.
say no, because I said down 2-0 before the Game 3. I said you watch because Washington has the opportunity here to do what we did in 2002, where we lost at home the first 2 games against Vancouver and then went on the road. I said they win Game 3. There's always that turning, there's always that turning point. You look at this year's playoffs. You look at the way that St. Louis got the overtime goal by Maroon to advance, and then the way they kept persevering even through the glove puck by San Jose and lose that game, bounce back, get shelled in the finals of the game, bounce back, right? Use the karma with the penalty that should have been on Boston the other night up for tripping, which is sort of evens out the karma. But what St. Louis has done is what you have those moments. So, Perry, when I said that, if they win Game 3, they have a chance to do what we did in 0-2, and that's pretty much what it reminded me of.
They had a heavy team just like the Blues do this year. Well, both, Blues and the Bruins are heavy this year. So
who's my favorite player on Washington?
Tom Wilson.
Absolutely.
Well, we
were talking about him all day.
Wait. Ovi's the all-time favorite, so
yeah.
Ovi.
Okay,
Ovi goes
non-stereotypical player.
No.
Okay.
And Perry, tell Ryan, because Ryan being a hockey fan, I'm going to fill you with some of these hockey informations here. And no, because Mike Vellucci, Perry's brother, coached Tom in Plymouth.
He was telling me that on the way here.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
You told him all? Well, do you want to
We've
share?
heard all the hockey
hey, do you want to quit podcasting on
He's ruining the podcast.
You want to quit
for you.
podcasting on your time and share it with the listeners?
We recorded our own little podcast.
No, you're
on the
going
way
good.
here.
I'm trying to eat my pizza. That's why I screwed up the first question.
Oh, that's what it is.
So I can get
take that pizza away from you.
Yeah, because. But if you look at the players Mike had.
Yeah, but she dicks around. Dick, you poop stick in the. Thank God you're here, Jesus. No, dude, why are you so shell-shocked, bro? I don't pick on you.
You're with the Dale Senior hat on and everything.
You're Fitzy's doppelganger. You're Fitzy's cousin, right, Travis? Travis is out there listening, I'm sure. Travis and Jesus. Anyways, no, I love it because he's got old school.
Oh, he is very old school. And he's super talented, which we didn't know in Washington for like the first year or two. We thought he might just be a perennial third-line, fourth-line player, and then he's kind of all of a sudden showed up this year after the big contract, and you're like, well, holy crap, this kid's got hands, and he's definitely earning his money now. If he can stay away from suspensions and all that crap, obviously.
Well, they're targeting him, but
they're making an example of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
You want to tell Darren how you crushed a little 9-year-old's dreams back.
Oh yeah, back. I tell my in-laws are like the biggest Red Wings fans in the world, and I had season tickets to the Caps back in '98 and went to every game in the finals and cried in the stands. So thank you for ruining my childhood.
You were one of those hometown fans that was in there of the 15,000 people?
Yeah, I was up there crying. It was all Red Wings, yeah. It was just me and my buddy just crying in the stands.
Do you remember? Yeah, so you're
Joey
crying.
Juneau set us up there.
Did it mean anything to you? Like you see a wheelchair come out and the cup go in the wheelchair? Did that?
Oh, it did, but I was too busy crying to see it probably.
I like it. They would have appreciated that. Well, you got yours there, later.
I was actually in Michigan last year when it happened too, so it felt good.
I was happy. I mean, I love Ovi. I love everything Ovi's about, and
He
the
earned
passion he plays with. Yeah, and it was.
Trots.
And the thing is, here's the thing. Yeah, Trots too, and even
My dog's named is Barry from Barry Trotz.
Dude, I named my bulldog Hank after Zetterberg.
Really? My mom's is Kuzi after Kuznetsov.
We were talking about
Nice.
dogs' names on the way here. True hockey guy.
Yeah,
ahead.
they screwed it up and got rid of
Explain
Trotz.
that. Why is that, Perry? Why is
Well,
that
because
a
it
true
just
hockey
shows.
guy?
Well, it just shows. I mean, his mom named the dog Kuzi after. They're hockey people. He's just not a race car
It's
guy.
not named Dale or anything for racing. It's all
Yeah,
it's all
it's-
hockey
it's-
names for sure.
So explain that.
It's like
Explain how you grow up. Like when I think Virginia, not only do I think him, but I think Denny Hamlin, right?
Yeah.
Because that's Ron's favorite guy. And
Denny actually coached me growing up quite a
like,
bit.
so I'm going to sit back here and I want you to explain. Being born in, how do you get into, like, because you played hockey too, and you're, I mean, obviously I'm going to let you ask me some hockey questions and I'll fill you in on stuff, and hopefully I'll continue to crush. So you were 9 back then, so I'm going to crush your
You're gonna
30-year-old
keep-
dreams right now.
ruin everything.
Exactly. You're gonna think any of those accidents on the track. I'm gonna treat you like Walters in a minute. So how do you get involved, like growing up? Like how do you get into hockey, but also get into racing?
So my dad was always a hockey fan, and I think
Did he play?
No, he just was like watch the Caps growing up. We had season tickets from USA Arena back in the day.
Who was his favorite player?
Probably Dale Hunter. I was
Okay.
Peter Bondra. But,
Bondlo.
yeah, he was like my
Dude,
favorite.
sniper,
Him, Kolzig or Pivanka, all those guys were like that was my era. But as far as racing, my grandfather raced and my father raced. My grandfather was killed in a racing accident in 1958, the same year my dad was born. My dad got into racing, even though like everything against my grandma's, wishes there.
Well, we just heard that with Michael Annette, who joined us, about how he grew up in a racing family and his mom wouldn't let him get in the car, and then it comes back to it. You, on a deeper level, lose your grandfather and your dad. So, I mean, I would think because there's an example of in our family that it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, explain.
Yeah, it's, like Grandpa dies. My dad still gets into it. He gets me into it when I'm 4. So I start racing when I'm 4 years old.
What do you start, go-karts?
Go-karts, quarter midgets. So I was playing hockey, started hockey and racing about the same time, but definitely had more talent in the racing world. Finished second 7 years in a row in the national championships to guys like Justin Allgaier, who's Michael's teammate, Reed Sorensen, guys that are still racing with it at this level. And unfortunately, never had the money to continue going up there because racing's all about funding.
Okay,
It's about finding
right,
millions and millions of dollars to do what you're trying to do.
I learned that from Connor Daly and the IndyCar, and you one of these things, which is the idea, which I love the fact because racing is like your passion. You've been doing it, but it's unfortunate that there's so many talented guys like yourself that it's about the opportunity and maybe getting that shot with the right team. You look at Michael talking about how it can change with the right person. I firmly believe that in everything that I've been through. You keep the intentions pure, you work hard, your self-awareness of what is my part in it. And sometimes as long as you're doing the best to your ability, you can't control it. So, but it's got to be frustrating.
It is so
That
frustrating,
would
but it's
frustrate the
rewarding.
shit out of me more than anything.
Imagine having
It's
all the
being
talent to do
gypped,
that. Yeah.
right.
I always say, you can buy your way into the Daytona 500 if you have enough money over time. Could you imagine, them going to Brett Favre and being like, hey, you have a lot of talent, but if you want to play in the Super Bowl this year, you got to find $6 million.
Bro, that was blew me away about IndyCar.
Connor Daly is really talented, too. I used to race with him a lot.
Yeah, and you remind me
He's
a
a really
lot.
nice
You
guy,
remind me a lot of him because, just as far as just, a down to earth and talking, but the intricacies where you learn the pack, where he's, finishing 10th in the Indy 500 that he's worked all year and explaining that to me all year round for one race, and then he's out pitching on Monday. I mean, it's not the glamour and the glitz, the money that, you see the motorhomes, you see the families. That's just like 0.1 percentile.
Yeah, I make more money now doing public relations for a race team than I ever did in the 4 or 5 years I was racing full time in NASCAR.
So how do you stay sharp then?
Luckily we have a simulator. In my house, I actually just paid $2,000 to get mine upgraded because I haven't raced in about 9 months. So I had to get my simulator, which they laser scan tracks And if you were to go and try to like just do a normal practice with a race team, it'd probably cost you 50, 100 grand just to rent the track, get ambulances, pay all your crew, get travel, tires, motor, all that.
Say that again. How much?
50 to 100 grand easily per day.
Per day.
Per day. Or I can just go sit in my living room, turn it on, and do a simulation.
Hey, Nick Nooch, if you're listening here, this is the 4 or 5 year goal. All right, we're gonna start a race team of something, but
idea.
just guys, and then we're gonna go to different races and pick off this like quarter midget one, and then we're gonna find a race and have like we're gonna find this. So I'm talking to my business development guy, so who's gonna go out and get the money, right? Because
sponsor hunting,
right?
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. There you go, sponsor hunting. I'm telling you. It'll be perfect. It'll go with me golfing and stuff all over the world. So we'll figure it out. All right, Nooch. All right, talk to you later, bud.
Hey, Ryan, I want to go back to when you were saying about your grandfather, and then your grandmother didn't want him, your dad to drive. You want to tell Mac about driving? Driving wasn't a problem for you. It was doing something else that they didn't want you to do.
What was that?
Playing the hockey?
Oh, yeah. So,
right?
I hope to God my dad doesn't listen to this. We
can call him. You want me to make sure he's listening?
Yeah, I raced obviously my whole life, and that was always my dad's priority, and it was always mine too, because I knew I was way better at that, and I was never going to make the NHL or anything. I just played college and etc.
My first love, baseball.
Really?
I could hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball at 12. Couldn't hit the curveball. I was better at punching people in the face. I made the right decision. Perry, how many? Yep. Right here.
Yeah, I break too easily. I broke collarbones, arms, and all that crap playing hockey. But would you get hurt more playing hockey than racing? I'd get hurt playing hockey, and then I'd go race. I'd break I break my collarbone or break my ribs, and
blame it on the race.
And I'd be like, yeah, I fell or something. But no, I played all the way through college, and my dad thought I only played one semester of freshman year, and they thought I quit because I was I was fully professional at that point. But I just kept playing. And through hockey, my mom used to just disappear in the middle of the night, show up to my games, and watch me play college. And my dad probably still doesn't know. So hopefully he's not listening right now.
How many years ago was that?
4.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
You're not even out. You're not out.
No,
You
I'm
can
not.
still get in trouble for that.
I was playing for George Mason, so right around the corner.
Hey, if you have sign Bam Bam a picture or something like that, and he'll make sure that he edits that part out.
I'll just say this is all fake.
When
you
it
guys
goes
just
blank.
put this in there. I didn't say it.
No, exactly. No, but that's unbelievable. So,
I was always worried about playing hockey and getting hurt myself, but I was as much as I was always a pest, and I'd go out there and basically to start a fight or draw a penalty, I was just a stay-at-home defenseman, just threw the body around because I sucked at playing the puck too. But I was always worried about breaking my collarbone, breaking an arm, anything like that. So, but I always put 100% into racing.
So let's get back to, you said nine. You didn't slide by me either. 9 months since you've been in a car. How does it come about? Right, like you said. So you doing public relations with different things,
team, yeah.
Right? So when you're not racing, because this is the conversation that I've had. With Connor is that, so he's doing stuff with Honda or he stays around, but then you get a call, in 9 months, or was it prepared because you're racing in Iowa, or is it a last?
It's a weird deal. I'm the only driver I know that has a full-time job. So it's the Cup or just the NASCAR season itself runs from about Valentine's Day all the way to Thanksgiving. It's the longest sports season of any sport I know. I work for a Cup team and they're on the road 40 weeks a year. I have 2 off weeks in the middle of that, and one is next week, and the other one's in August. So I use my 2 off weeks to go race in the Xfinity Series, because those are the only 2 weeks I can race without getting fired.
So that's Iowa?
Yep.
And
Iowa and Road America in Wisconsin.
When's that one?
August 24th, I believe.
Right on, dude.
So I look for sponsorship for those 2 weeks, and even though I probably should just be at home with my wife, I'm out racing those 2 weeks.
No, but
I
love
could
it.
race a lot more. I get offers. I'm not trying to sound like I have,
No.
whatever,
But you obviously have a job that you like, or a job that
pays the bills.
And
I do enjoy the people I work with a lot. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It's surrounding, and I always tell everybody it's not only a fall down, get back up. It's always be self-aware where you got to get to, and you got to embrace the suck. And what are you going to do to get there? So at this point. It's not that if you had the opportunity and it made sense because it paid the bills better, we'll do that. And maybe that's
absolutely.
so you look to like you said, you upgrade. So what you can do is upgrade the simulator and get all the tracks. And so would it be like, like driving one of those NASCAR game at Dave and Buster cars?
Oh no, it's a 3-screen simulator with it's called iRacing. It's a racing simulation. You would actually love it. Like I'll hook you up with the right people, and if you've fallen in love with racing, you'll love this, and you'll be on it every night. There's like 2 or 3 NHL players that play on it all the time.
Oh,
and it's online, and all of the drivers play. Like we all get on, we'll host a track, and we'll go down there and just race against each other and get practice in. It's very realistic.
Nooch. Oh yeah, I want to get in on this, dude. I'll get the machine. I could probably get a car and I could probably sit in it, even though I'll be the
really
one.
Nice.
Maybe I should be the pace car in that game.
Yep.
I could be your honorary pace car guy. D-Mac, you got the car? Yeah. I'll see how I do this weekend first. Hey, I would, Bam Bam. I'd be driving in. No, dude, I don't want to race, guys. It's too scary for me. But it's only a computer. Nah, I know, but I burned all those out. That's awesome.
It's a lot
and
safer.
How is it? Would you correlate it to maybe like the TrackMan golf simulator, like as far as giving you your numbers, or you're looking to read different things on this?
Probably, like for racing, it helps me pick up visual pickup points for like a turn in. It'll help you learn where the bumps are in a certain track, even though that changes over the year.
Right.
Where it's high grip, where it's low grip, and you can go and do a long run, see how the tires fall off if you need to move up the track, down the track, and you can play with the setup a lot. So I can actually go and set the car up in the game, and then go tell our crew chief, like, hey, I like this setup, just try that. Even though I definitely won't, because I'm not a crew chief at all. I'll leave that to them, or I can ask them what their setup is, plug it in my car, and then run our car, and then tell them what I want to adjust.
Right.
It's very, very realistic. They spend a lot of money doing it.
So if you're racing, the Iowa next, what is a realistic? What do you hope? Like what do you go into race? You only race twice, so I mean it's just sort of like Perry's golf game. I mean, it's like what do you expect to get out? You don't put anything into it.
It's
what do you expect to get out of it? Obviously,
Yeah.
Obviously, one I would expect finish the race, right? The number one and be safe. But what is a realistic?
I've ran about top 20 every single time, and that's with a team. Like our team runs on about a $15,000 to $25,000 budget a race. I'd say probably closer to 15, whereas the team that Michael drives for is about a $150K race.
Right.
My team has 8 employees for 3 cars. They have about probably 300 to 400. So, and we literally will buy the tires after a team like his uses it and put them on our car. So when he's like, oh, these tires are crap, blah, 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 they'll take them off the car. Our guys will go run over there, give them $500, put them on our car.
See, people don't realize that.
No.
I never realized that, but you're trying to, and then the key is because you're trying, so it's almost like the top, say, 10, the middle 10, the last
tiers.
10 are, it's sort of like soccer, right? Where you're trying to
It'd be like
relegate.
pre-salary cap, where we're like just going out there. We know what we have, and like we're on budget. We're probably a 30th place, 33rd
You're
place
Phoenix
car.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Not paying nobody.
Nope. No. It's basically like playing hockey with a pool noodle. You can be as good as you want, but you don't have the equipment you need.
That's unbelievable. So it's the same thing. It's not what you know, it's who you know and who's got the money.
Yeah. IndyCar's a little bit more money, but like these teams, like I said, I might get one set of sticker tires, and that's new tires, and there's $2,500 a piece. So you think about how much money a Cup team spends on a weekend. They might buy 10, 12 sets of new tires. And that's per car, and then they have an $80,000, $100,000 motor lease a week, and then they got all their employees, flights, rental cars, hotels. It's a lot of money to find just to like run one weekend.
You got your spiel down for your sponsors for your interview? Do you have your driver?
Oh, yeah, I do, yeah.
Can you give me that? Hey, Ryan, what do you, Ryan Ellis, you're driving the 99 car. Who do you drive for?
99 for BJ McLeod Motorsports, sponsored by the West Cook Band, who just put a new album out. How Freedom Feels, also sponsored by Audio Video Specialist, Enlisted 9 Fight Company, Top Cover Hats, 9 Line Apparel, and a sponsor that I'm hopefully going to get a text back on a little bit, but haven't got a text back about yet. If you want to be on the car next week, we have space. I won't charge you.
I like it.
That's very good.
like it.
That's very
We'll
good.
throw a grind time with Darren McCarty on there.
Yeah.
We threw Russian Machine Never Breaks on there, the Capitals blog, so if you guys want to be on there next week, I'll throw you on there. That'd be cool.
If you want to throw the
I'm
grind time
serious,
with
I'll
Darren
throw it on
McCarty.
Oh,
Yeah.
he saw the swag when you were when he was working out in the gym, and he
I
said,
landed. I went to the gym and I saw you on
Dude,
TV.
I
I'm
saw
like,
you
what the
sent
heck?
that to Perry because we did a Reddit earlier with Josh
Reddit
and
AMA.
Jenny. Yeah, so he's like he would know that because he's a guy that's out there selling his own sponsorship.
He
so,
noticed it right
these
away.
are things that I noticed, and that'd be incredible, dude. But that's all. So I want to know where are you at as far as like is it just do you consider racing a hobby? Do you consider it on the burner? Do you consider it like
it's like a
where
very
you at?
far-fetched deal, just because I have friends that are so talented, like my buddy Matt DiBenedetto.
Obviously.
He's the reason I'm doing this PR gig, so screw him right now. But he was my teammate
Screw
at BK Racing,
DiBenedetto.
and when I was running full time,
dude, he's been racing up front a lot, and then like
he's having problems. Yeah.
Here's the thing, like bad luck, getting hit at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But I mean, he'll
send me a picture of his crap and be like, "Oh, there's my 2020 or 2019 season right there." I'm like, "Oh, good, perfect."
No, but it's unbelievable to watch some of these guys, because now you see, like you said, different layers. Where that team, right? And you say BJ McLeod because he's a driver too, right?
Yep.
Right. And so like the teams that work and then are progressing and moving up and showing a little bit different, but again, it's like it's a tough gig.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
The parity is unbelievable.
It is, and it is and it isn't at the same time. So, like, Matt was my teammate 3 years ago. I lost my sponsor because the chief marketing officer, literally, he just left and went to a different company. And that's, in this sport, stability is your sponsor. So as soon as I lost him, I went from being like almost a full-time cup driver to my teammate offering me a PR job at the new team he went to, which was Go Fast.
Right.
So I took it, and I was like, okay, I'll do this, see how it is. And then I would totally take a full-time cup opportunity if I got it. I got offered a ride with a cup-affiliated team in Xfinity several times, but I have to find $150,000 a race to do it.
Right.
Just like any other
And
driver.
people don't understand that because that's
and
what
it's not
you're
just
out
for
there
me.
doing.
It's
no,
every driver has to
no,
find
that's the game, the gig.
And it's
that
not.
people
They're
don't
not making
realize.
money on it. They're just trying to cover costs. Dale Jr. is not going to go spend $6-8 million a year on each car to lose money. Like, so I have to go find that money, and I could go run for Joe Gibbs Racing in a couple weeks if I found $200,000.
Right.
So, but even if you find that, I'm still one guy quitting, moving jobs
Right.
or something away from being
Yeah,
jobless the next day.
So what the big thing is, like you said, it's the stability, and the stability is your relationship with your sponsors. So it's that makes a lot of sense, because and the sad part is, so honestly, a lot of times not the best driver wins, but more so the best team with the most resources at the time, or you catch it right.
At Cup, it's so competitive that almost everybody is a good driver. I'd say everybody is. So
Well, you have to be, or else you'd be buried out there, wouldn't
In
you?
Xfinity, it's a lot more of what we call buy riders, and you'll see those kids fizzle out after a few years. But at Cup, it still takes a lot of talent to win, which is nice to see. But I hope it stays that way. I don't know. You've been following it a little bit. They're changing the rules package. It's making the cars easier to drive, which sucks. It'd be like playing hockey with a tennis ball or something. You're like, this doesn't take as much talent. You're just kind of getting lucky at this point.
Right, exactly. You know, all those moves you're talking about when you can make that move, and
yeah.
It's not even manual shifting anymore, right?
No, it is. It's just they went
okay.
from, like, I don't want to misquote numbers, probably 850 horsepower to 550 this weekend. So, like, they're driving around Michigan Speedway just flat with their foot, and people don't realize it, but what you do with your feet is way more important than what you do with the steering wheel, because you end up driving the car with your feet, where you lift, where you pick the throttle back up. I could go and take you on a simulator and let you steer the car, and I'll drive the pedals, and you'll probably be almost as fast. But if I did the opposite, you wouldn't be nearly as fast.
Wow. Connor told me that too. He was talking about running Indy at 240 or whatever like that, and because difference with you, because it came to fruition to me that the racers might have the greatest concept of subconscious and conscious, because he says at Indy, you put that setup to the car is floor pedal down, so you can't lift during qualifying, because you'll be going into some of those corners and we're talking. This is the whole thing, not 140, 240. That's 100 miles faster than 140.
Yeah, when people do the pace car rides, they're going like 110. They're like, "Oh my God, that's so fast!" I'm like, "Yeah, imagine another 100."
No, but and that's the thing. But you guys are so sick. See, here's the cross is like the line. And I get it, because I used to be that sick. But when you know that your life's on the line or whatever like that, and I guess, you know, the analogy is I lived my life off the ice the same sort of way for a while, but to that subconsciously you want to lift, but the pedal's set down and you're just whipping it out. That's got to be.
You would love it though. You would love it. It's I've
the
had
adrenaline.
It at tracks.
See, I would like to. I would go in the 2-seater with like my experience, because I've done that 3 times down to the Grand Prix, and that's the first time Connor drove me.
Yeah.
And granted, I was probably 40 pounds lighter than I was last time I was in there, and it made a big difference because it was a lot more comfortable. But it wasn't. I would like to see the speed, but I wouldn't want to drive.
No, you would want to be, once you did it a few times, you're like, all right, I want to be in control. I've had tracks where the guy's like, all right, you don't lift here. And the car is completely reliant on aerodynamics. So you literally have to take your right foot down. And even without thinking about it, your body will kind of pull your foot off the pedal. So you have to take your left foot, cover it over your right foot, and push it down with both feet, just so you don't subconsciously pull your foot off the gas.
So that's the stuff that you learn. Like, you learn as you...
Yeah, you just basically stand on it. You're like, okay, against all instincts, I'm telling you, just, like going in to fight someone that's probably bigger than you. You're like, I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to go do it anyhow.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're sick in the head, too. You'd love it.
That's unbelievable. The driver literally has... So you're saying it's like you're like a drummer with a double bass. And just foot's going all the time, head's going, listening.
If it goes wrong, you just hurt a little bit more than a drummer, probably.
Yeah,
Well, we were talking about that. I said, what your body, the beating it takes, and if you want to go and talk about, just the difference between the upper body and the lower body injuries.
Mm-hmm. The perfect...
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the perfect training I found is like a CrossFit type exercise, because you work out in the heat and you kind of do a little bit of everything, but... Your spine gets compressed so much up and down because those cars don't have a lot of travel. They're so low to the ground. They're maybe a couple millimeters off the ground. You hit bumps, and like I had my contacts blow out of my eyes when I was at Phoenix going up and down the banking.
How fast were you going?
140, and I was just like, oh, bum line. Okay, pull into the pits. And I was like, I can't see anything.
So what do you do? What do you do then?
Transition. Just like...
No, I mean, like you pull into the pits, and it's not like you got an optometrist there.
They're like, what happened? I'm like, my contacts blew out of my eyes. And they're like, all right, well, get back. All right, let's put new ones in and get back out there. It was during practice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what do you got, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar glasses?
No.
But he's just strapping in the goggles. We see it with
I used to wear my glasses. I got in a crash and they popped out.
Yarborough one.
No, but the cars get like 135, 150 degrees in there. You're wearing 3 layers, and you don't get any air in the car. It's not like you have air conditioning. The drivers will say they have air conditioning. It's a fan that plugs into the top of their helmet.
That's hot.
And it blows about 25 to 30 degree cooler air, so it might be 100 degree air into your head, and you feel like way better. But you'll stick your hand out the window, get some cooler air. But I lose between 9 and 12 pounds of water weight during a race, and I drink probably 3 water jugs with like Pedialyte or something in there, and you feel like the worst hangover of your life when you get out. You feel like completely tore up.
What's your favorite racing memory?
I think I won, if you've ever heard of the Grand Am Road Racing Series. Okay, so I came from that into NASCAR. I had no intention of ever going to NASCAR. I was just going to stay in that forever. I was a rookie. I qualified on the pole at Daytona and won the first race at Daytona. And for me, that was just like the coolest thing. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. It'd be like going out winning a Stanley Cup your first year. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I won. Then we went out to Miami, won the same thing 2 in a row. And I was like, this is going to be, I'm just going to keep doing this. And then all of a sudden, 3, 4, 5, 6, they changed the rules, and I don't win those. But that was like my last 2 professional wins, but they were like my rookie race and my second race.
Wow.
Just right off the bat.
How long ago was that?
2012. Because when you get to NASCAR, it's all about money.
Yeah.
But in that level, I was like, everything was pretty equal, and you can go out and win races. And that was at a professional series level.
That's unbelievable. There's like, the more and more I dig into it, is racing is like golf. There's just so many guys that not only do it that you wouldn't realize, but are good at it or decent at it. But then there's, like you said, it comes into, do you golf?
No. I'm bad enough at everything else. I'm like hockey racing, that's it.
Hockey racing, that's it. I love it. Well, let's talk a little hockey, because you grew up a Washington fan. We realize that you're sitting in here because I'm waiting for the kicker, because I made him cry when he was 9. So, like that. So, how about your favorite player growing up? Or
it was probably Bondra, but like now, like my favorite player for the Caps is probably Oshie, just because I like those guys that just go and battle, do war. And I love Tom Wilson, but he hasn't been around long enough, so I'm sure in 5, 10 years you ask me that, I'd say Tom Wilson. But
no, but TJ Oshie is a class, and what happened to him, that was dirty. Okay,
I'm glad you agree on that. I was so pissed there wasn't anything. They didn't even call a penalty in the play.
No, I thought that was the end of the team. Like, there's certain guys that have certain roles, and he's sort of like the pulse.
Yeah.
in
Him
that
and Orpik.
dressing room. But it was. I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, I've broken my.
But you won last year, so I don't feel bad.
I don't feel bad at all. I was like,
you got
I was
your
gonna
win.
get tattoos.
You
and
got
everything.
it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I never thought we'd win one, so it was just really cool to be here. Like I didn't know where I was going to be. I was like, I'm going to fly out to watch the game in Vegas, blah, blah, blah. But obviously I'm traveling, working, so I got real stuff. And I went to a random sports bar here in the Detroit area, watched the Caps win the Stanley Cup, and they were like karaoke night at the bar, and I was just pissed off. They were playing that song, What Does the Fox Say, as the Caps like were living my dream. And it was just like ruining everything for me.
I love it. I love it. So don't go to another town that is
Yeah,
in
they
the
didn't care.
finals.
No. Bunch of kids playing like Pokemon cards next to me, and I'm like crying my eyes out as a 28-year-old watching the Caps win.
That's awesome.
Oh, by the way, did you know Biz was on Spittin' Chicklets? I keep hearing about that. I listened to that podcast again on the way here. I'm like, I don't think you actually knew Biz was on.
No, I'm a dick. I didn't at the beginning, but I realized there was like 10 minutes in, and I realized I'm just gonna
I've
not
gone too
say
far?
anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure every time I address Wit and Rear Admiral that I make sure I use their name, and if Bits,
Yeah, you did.
and if Bits jumps in, I'll just talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Because
You didn't address him. Yeah.
no, it was because I didn't. He can't. And to my, you'll have to see it because I don't think he was sitting there. He was there the whole time, but he didn't chime in at the beginning, so I didn't think he was there. And by the time I realized it, I just played on.
Yeah,
Because at the end, he goes, "You didn't fucking say nothing," and I was like, "You're gonna save it for next time." But it's so many. That's the hockey world,
Yeah.
dude.
No,
and
that was funny.
this is what I do. I throw it out there because I sell Evan McGrath that I played with. That's his business boy that I played with in GR. Right, I sell him down the river. Like McGrath put me up to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I liked all your CBD talk on there, though, too, because that's one thing that, like, NASCAR is, we're trying to get pushed in for CBD sponsorships because we really think that that could be the future of racing. Like, kind of like tobacco sponsorships were 8, 10, 12 years ago. Like, we think that CBD really could be the future of NASCAR sponsorships, and I'd take it, and I'm on the Herbal Active because it
Absolutely.
is and all them. And they're like, oh, okay, 100%, TH, or
Did you know
100%
that-
CBD, and I got it.
I'll be happy to announce that Herbal Active is one of our sponsors. Just get I can let that out to the Grind Time family. That's
yeah. Build the news right now.
Yeah, exactly. Good plug. But you're right because it is, and then you see the way. The easiest thing to say is once they change Schedule 1 or figure out now they're moving in the hemp laws and stuff. But it is. It's there's a whole combination of saving my life and allowing people, and it's just the education of it's because your body craves it. Because you have an endocannabinoid system, anything with a spine. But the best part is you can go look. Don't take my word for it. And
That's what I tell people, too. I said, just try it.
just don't take my. If my wife she doesn't drink that anything, and I got her on it finally just to try it, and it's made a world of difference. So it's just because when you understand that your body craves this, right, and then now it can be done like Herbal Active where it's taken in its the purest form where there's nothing but the non-psychoactive and sleep and
I've never slept that well until I started taking that. I used to wake up 2 or 3 times a night easily, and now I'm like, boom, clocked out. I know Biz says he pees himself. He sleeps so good. I don't do that. But, no, I take it, and they always ask me, they're like, how do you feel? I say, I don't really notice when I take it. I just, all of a sudden, if I forget it for 2 days, I realize I feel worse.
That's exactly it.
It's not that you notice when you do take it, you just notice when you're not on it.
The first thing that you will notice if you haven't is it's like you can exhale. It's like a sigh. It's like hand on your shoulder or whatever.
Yep.
But the thing is, once your system it won't change anything. You won't know on it, but you'll know when it's not in there.
Yep, I can tell when I missed it.
Yeah, and I would think, too, because I know that the NHLPA, Glenn Healy, I've had the conversations with him myself, that they're in the process with Canopy Canada of doing research, and he's going to come, the PA with our leader is going to come and say, here's all the things you need to the league and to show. So maybe if that helps that we form a way with the information that NASCAR's right there. We deal with the same things, injuries, concussions.
I have so many concussions. I'm sure you have, too.
Well, that's the whole thing. Now, And then that's where the CBD absolutely helps too. And we realize that everybody, has sort of experienced some sort of PTSD or concussion in some way.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier, like just from like volleyball. You could just be walking down the stairs, trip, and hit your head. Like you never know what's.
How many
happen.
times you done that or whatever growing up, and it was just like rung your bell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I told him. We were playing tackle football with no pads on when we were kids. You just go and run a guy, and
Paul Correa. When he got up off the floor and scored, like that would never happen.
I tell everybody, bro. I said that might be like one of the toughest bounce backs because he got
he was out cold.
Out cold.
Yeah.
The only that was even more vicious than what Stevens did to Kozlov. That was vicious too. But the one on Korea, and then Korea comes back and shelves it.
I can't believe that still happened, but. Yeah, I've had so many concussions between racing and hockey where for about 4 to 6 months I was just puking nonstop, like lights off, like couldn't watch TV, couldn't watch video, like
There's
play
so
video
many
games.
guys that in hockey that that have suffered from that. That's why we're trying to.
And it's got a bad connotation behind it too. Even from the sports world, the people are like, "Oh, you'll get over it, man." You're like, you just fight through it all. Like, you can't. You just gotta get your mind right and. Take all the time you need.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the good thing, as you see technology and education and the safety, right? What you could say is that since you, started driving to now, it seems like, to me anyways, like the cars are a lot safer or...
I say they're too safe now because now the idiots can go out there and be stupid at it. It'd be like if you can go and just throw the body around with nobody getting hurt in hockey anymore except for like concussions or something. You sometimes have so many of those young kids who just go out there and drive without consequence because they don't.
Is that the problem too? Is because
I want them to get hurt a little bit, maybe not like knocked out, maybe to break your
learn
arm
a lesson. Nothing
Yeah.
serious, but just enough to. I don't think
It's
I'll
like
do
the
that
no
again.
fighting in hockey thing. Like you want there to be some consequence for your action because otherwise people can go out there and be stupid without any consequence.
Well,
Rich
you know what
kids
the
can keep
consequence
going in.
is now, right?
What's that?
Fit your old lady, your pocketbook. That's it. You got to
There you
answer to her. That could be worse to some guys. Not me. Not me now. Oh, it's beautiful. Love you, baby. So, what are you watching? Do you watch this playoffs?
Oh, absolutely. Who are you rooting for?
What do you think of the finals?
I'm rooting for the Blues. Just because I want.
Now it's the time. I'm like, let them off the hook. I'm feeling a little bit generous on this 22nd anniversary of my first of 4 cups. In case you didn't know, Ryan, that's why I have them back there, just to show behind.
Yeah, that 98 one's standing out looking at me right now.
You know what? It might be just put there just to stare at you.
That's the only one that's
remember.
not blocked off from my vision right now.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Actually, Bill Felsner said, hey, give a little shout out to his cousin Denny Felsner, former Blues.
Oh, yeah, right on.
Remember where Denny played for, and now he's a Macomb County Sheriff now, so.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
Chris Thorburn, huge racing guy.
Chris Thorburn, yeah.
He's come out to the race a lot. I texted him the other day. I didn't know he was still with the Blues.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, bud, you coming to MIS? And he was like, oh, we're still in the playoffs. And I looked him up. I'm like, oh, holy crap. I feel like such a dick now.
No, that's cool.
I didn't know he was like obviously just traveling with the team now. But, yeah, I felt like a dick.
No, don't feel like a dick, bro. He had, he's a sport guy.
He played here.
Yeah.
He played with the Whalers, too.
Would he technically be a black ace? Is that what they call him there? Yeah.
That is a black ace. And if you hear the term black aces, those are the guys at the practice squad.
Yep.
Yeah. And honestly, the black aces are usually the guys that aren't going to get in the lineup, so they have a riot in the playoffs.
Imagine the ones in Vegas last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, on Washington's team.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, dude! They were like, we're gonna make sure. I know that I would have been, maybe back in the day, I would have said, listen, I gotta make sure we got to practice for a week while you guys play. We'll be there to support you, right? Exactly.
Physically, you'll be there.
Well, yeah, exactly. We'll just rah. Doesn't take me that much. I can puke when you're out on the ice, Oh, that would have been awesome. I didn't need that. I was too busy playing.
Yeah, Vegas would have been a little different in your guys' era.
Yeah.
I don't think
It was there. Hey, listen, Vegas was there, and Vegas was different in my era. Trust me. Shout out to the Desert Inn. That's it. None of the rest of it. So who do you have? The Blues.
Yeah, I had Blues in 6 from the start of it. I bet my team manager, he used to play college goalie.
Who's your
at
team?
UNH. Go Fast Racing.
Who's your NHL team? Other than
Caps.
that's Cap all
Caps,
day?
and then
That never,
I don't really have anybody else. Yeah.
You don't have a B team. You don't have a
No,
Western
basically,
Conference
I hate
team?
the Penguins. Hate the
Everybody hates
Flyers.
the Penguins.
Don't really like the Bruins just because I hate the New England
So
sports
it's
fans.
Washington. Whoever plays Pittsburgh. Whoever
Yeah,
plays,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like, I like the good stories. Blues a good story. The Knights would have been a good story if they weren't playing against the Caps last year, obviously. So I was like, oh, if
So
the
you
Caps
just
don't win,
totally-
then I'm like, oh, then they're facing each other. Nate Schmidt, I was rooting for him, but
No, you
yeah.
weren't.
Not
Such
at
a
the
lie.
end. Not at the end.
Exactly, because I love it, because you're diehard. That's what I expect out of a kid that cried, that I made cry.
Yeah, you did make her
9-year-old.
cry. Yeah.
I like it.
You do it all over
I
again.
was, hey, that's for the record, I was not alone.
That's true.
That's true. So how does it work? So you go, like, if Iowa races next Saturday, what is your preparation?
It's so
Like,
funny.
Get in as much simulator time, or you've done that, so you pretty much have the idea of what you can do. Like, how does
So,
it?
I paid to upgrade that simulator, and then the new stuff I ordered broke, and I threw out the old stuff. So I'm not gonna have any sim time beforehand. I have to go work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I fly out Friday morning. So I won't get any practice out there.
That would be awesome. We're gonna tune into the 99 next Saturday
That
for
might be
sure,
the-
dude.
yeah.
Luckily, I can just hop in there, watch some tape, and it's like riding a bike to a certain extent, and I'm very.
Have you
confident.
raced Iowa before?
Yeah,
So
I ran
you
it
know
6-7 times.
So that helps.
I did
too.
sim time 3 weeks ago, and it's a sim. So, but I ran a pole time 3
Good.
laps in. So I was like, oh,
So-
okay, I didn't forget anything.
But where you're at right now in your career as a driver, right, to be able to do that, you're like, okay, God,
Yeah.
like you, because
I
it's
could go out and
self-awareness.
win both these races, win 30th place stuff, and nothing would happen.
Right.
I wouldn't get a single call from a sponsor. It's not like a video game. They're looking for other stuff, and I wouldn't get an offer from a team. It would just be, all right, you won 2 races. I wouldn't get paid a dime more. It would just be high five and then get back on the plane, go back to the shop, and work on Monday.
See, but I love that about you, bro. Because the fact that you.
I have to. My wife's doing nursing school. She's working 2 jobs, and I have to do this. Otherwise, I have no dogs, no house. I'm screwed.
Yeah, no, but I love the fact that it's a self-awareness of where you're at. You're like, hey, dude, it's like, this is where I am, and I'm going to do, I got to do this. It's not what I want, but, you never know what's going to happen. You just go out and give yourself the opportunity and put yourself in that position.
Yeah, I'm always working on the bigger stuff. I had an offer, like I said, for a top Xfinity team I can go out and win this year. But if I do it, I get fired, so...
Yeah,
I don't know if
you
that's
can't.
worth it. Yeah, exactly.
That's not a good contingency plan. Now,
Not at this time.
I've
now,
had cup races offered.
the
and I'm
difference
like,
between coming to me now and 20 years ago,
you'd be like, oh, go do that.
I'd be
yeah.
like, God, fuck.
What's a job?
But 20 years ago, it's like, I didn't have, live flat your pants. No, because I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
And keep your intentions pure. And, like you said, and if it's something that you love, you seem that where racing is with you, and it's a big part of your life, not so much who you are, but what you do, and you love it. But you have it in a good place.
Yeah, not really anybody I know treats this like their hobby. They're like, oh, what do you do for fun?
Not at that
I race in,
level.
the NASCAR
Bro,
Xfinity
we're
Series.
talking. Wait. Does anybody else that's like me? Although in a few years I'm gonna get out there on the senior tour, but that'd be like me going, dude, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, just gonna, go play in that tour event or the web.com event or what, even at that level.
I used to work at a elementary school, and I taught 3rd and 4th grade, and I was in school at the same time, and I'd go and race in NASCAR, and they'd be like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Because they didn't know I raced, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go race NASCAR at Daytona, and they're like, oh, okay. And they just check out, and they're like, that guy's fucking crazy. He has no idea what he's talking about.
Did anybody ever, parent
no.
or anything ever, say, wait?
No, I think 1 or 2 knew, but other than that,
Hey,
they all just thought I was crazy.
Tell us your story about, obviously anybody, your name being Ryan Ellis, spelled exactly the same way as the little ginger defenseman, which you're
He's
taller
making a lot
than.
more money than me, yeah.
Wait, yeah, you might want his pocketbook. He's got a lot of facial hair. He's definitely, I would not mistake you for him or him for you.
A little bit more Asian.
But, yeah, a little bit more, maybe. But tell me that you have been mistaken for, and you got to meet him. You showed me a picture.
Yeah, so I think it was 2 years ago. It was a Tampa-Nashville game, I believe. My dad told me about him when he was in the World Juniors. So I was like, oh, okay, like, whatever. He's probably not going to make the NHL. And then I realized how good he was on the power play and everything. But he ran over JT Miller. I think JT Miller jumped him. And then I woke up with probably like 100, 200, 300 hate tweets all at my Twitter account. And I'm like, what the hell did I do? They're all like death threats and stuff. So I looked it up, watched what Ryan Ellis did, and saw the video. And then I had some stupid tweet about it. And Nashville invited me out, had me meet Ryan Ellis, whoever Laviolette was coaching, I think, back
Peter
then.
Laviolette, yeah.
And I met them and somehow made it on Hockey Night in Canada for games, like game 5 or 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, because I thought it was hilarious. He has the same middle name, his dad has the same name.
Everything?
Same birth year. Yeah, so both of our names are Ryan James Ellis, and both of our dad's names are Jim. And his sister's name is Erica, my sister's name is Kara. So it's almost the same exact crap all the way through, and I was like, all right, this guy's just cheating my life away right here. I'll take his life, though. I'm not going to argue about that.
No, I mean, there's a lot different guys or worse people to get mistaken for and stuff like that.
Hopefully I get a check of his accidentally or something. But
well, you know what? And it
just going to find one.
You could actually, that would not be a mistake if you actually.
I could cash that.
You could.
It makes like 6.5
and even if the middle name.
4.5. Yep.
Yeah, that's, you know what? You don't need that much. That's just way too much.
One paycheck's not that bad.
Per
diem maybe.
How much did you just say it was?
I think 4.5 or 6.5.
Okay, so then why would you want $300,000 a check?
Yeah, that's just like my life income doubled probably.
I did.
So I might go see him Thursday if the Checkers lose tomorrow. They play Thursday night. We were talking about might head down to Charlotte Thursday and go watch the game with them.
Bring your bag. You said bring my bag here. Well, you're coming back here in about a month or two, so I can bring my bag.
Yeah, come in August?
Yep.
Yeah.
You come back in August?
Yeah. We'll set up. Let me know when, and we'll set up some ice time.
Yeah,
well, whenever you're around, bring your gear, dude. I'll find you. We'll get Meltdown, and there's always. Dude, I know there's always a skate around.
We've got that's what
one of my buddies.
And I might even
lace them up.
I might even.
You might have to, yeah. I'm gonna put you in a race car, so
that's it.
I mean, that's a good trade-off right there.
Speaking of that, any advice on driving the pace car?
Don't crash it. Don't wreck anybody.
How am I gonna crash it going 45?
I don't know. I've seen people wreck it going less than that. I've actually seen a pace car wreck before.
It's a big track.
True, yeah. Well, hopefully
it's
it doesn't
not
rain
like
Sunday.
Martinsville or something. I mean, like I could understand, or Bristol.
You really should do like an actual track day, though. I think you would really enjoy it.
I probably would. That's what I'm afraid
It'd probably get you addicted, though, and then you're going to be in the same crap I'm doing. Like just begging for rides every week.
I gotta accomplish this golf thing before I do this racing thing.
I think you'd
Would
like
you race, Ronnie?
Absolutely. Any second of the day.
Any second of the day?
Yes, sir, I would.
You would?
Yes,
all right.
Sir,
well, let's see there. I got my driver.
See?
I'll throw him in the car.
But I used to drive fire trucks.
You used
so
to drive fire
to
trucks.
To racing.
You did. You were driving fire trucks. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm all about it. But, Big Hoss is all about speed, too. I'm not. I like cruise
You would be
control.
if you did it. You would.
I know. That's what I'm afraid of.
It's a fighter-pilot mentality. That's what we always say. It's just like, it's about out-crazing people half the time, and I think you like doing that.
Yeah. So I'd also, too, is that I'd be one of those guys that, like, I get radioactive.
Oh,
I get.
Oh, I'm the worst with that.
I get Clint Boyer punching Ryan Newman in the head in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
I wanted him to take the helmet off.
Yeah,
That's all I asked.
Like, square it up.
Yeah,
I
said,
thought
get
when
out.
he came back.
Newman would have killed him, though.
Yeah, I know.
Newman's, like, got no neck. He's huge.
Newman's
He's a farm
like
boy.
Martin LaPointe. But Newman's built like a bull.
Yep.
He's like.
Boyer's not.
No.
He's built like a gazelle or something.
He did not. Yeah, right, exactly.
We've had like the who could fight who and I like racing, and there's only like 3 or 4 that could probably beat up. Like I always talk about it with Matt DiBenedetto, and there's probably only 3 or 4 that could probably take him down.
Take Ryan Newman?
Matt DiBenedetto.
Oh, take DiBenedetto.
Yeah. He's my workout buddy. Have you seen how big he is?
Yeah, he's jacked.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't get that results, but I'm working out with him. But there aren't many guys.
Isn't DiBenedetto like Italian?
Yeah.
So
his nickname's Guido. His middle name is actually Guido.
Is it really? My best friend growing up, his name was Adam Gabriel. We called him Guido.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He's got it on the top of his car now.
Does he?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I'll tell him if he wants to put skates on.
He can't skate. He can't.
Well, that's
even
the
walk half
idea,
time.
dude. I tell anybody, get to put the skates on.
I've tried.
And you know what? If they can't skate and they're bigger than me, that's Perry's fucking fault.
There you
Because
go.
he didn't do his due diligence.
There's
This
only-
guy's been playing for a while.
There's another driver. Joey Logano played hockey for quite a while. He owns the rink that I play beer league at.
Logano does?
Yeah. His sister is like a big
pretty
time
talented.
skating coach. Yeah.
He's a good
He's actually
driver.
very talented. Yeah.
Yeah,
He gets a lot of slack, but he's a really good driver and really nice guy. You'll realize they're all like super nice guys in NASCAR.
That's cool.
It's hard to hate them because they all travel together. They live in the same motor coach lot. Their kids are all friends. They all go to church together every Sunday. It sucks because you want those rivalries, but they're all like best friends.
But it does. You see them, the way that it is. It's sort of like golf.
Mm-hmm.
Where the best guys, but you really feel like there is that rivalry of beating them, but yet there is. I gave it my best, and I was beat by a better team. So there is part of that, but there also is, the villain.
It's like where you're not obviously like going to war every week, but it's not like that hockey mentality. You don't have a locker room together. So you're kind of only people you can really relate to at the racetrack are each other. So it's kind of your locker room with the other drivers.
And you're in a world, right?
Yeah. So you can't really, you go punch each other in the face and then you're friends next week talking about how the track is or how your car is. They signed autographs together, Ryan Newman and Boyer, at the same autograph session the next week. And they pushed their tables together and just talking.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
That's just the way
I wish they
you
didn't.
know.
I want them to fight the next week. But
Yeah. That's when we know that it's turning into the WWE,
yeah,
right?
Matt and I always talk about having a fight button in NASCAR, where if both drivers push it, and radioactive, like, oh, I'm going to beat this guy up, I'm going to kill him, like, oh, if you're going to talk that much trash, then let's go.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Now, would that
Front
have
straightaway.
to? Would that be like post race?
No, that'd be like throw a red flag, like
Oh,
like a
red
fight button,
flag,
and then they get in the
where-
front straightaway and pummel each other, and they get back in.
Dude, so the red flag, it'd be like game on, to the Terror Dome.
Yeah.
Boom, out of the cars, helmets off.
Yep, slug it out until
Have
one hits
refs,
the ground.
Have refs. Then you get penalized.
Yep,
If
whoever
you
loses
get your
loses the
ass
lap.
kicked.
Yep. Then they wouldn't talk all that trash because they're all just like, I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to throw him in the grandstands. And then nobody ever does anything.
I know. That's why I probably couldn't race.
Yeah, because you'd actually kill someone.
Yeah, no, I'd actually like seriously.
I heard you say about Lemieux, you're going to take your step on his neck.
No, I said the best thing about what I did when I smashed his, when I was trying to put, I didn't get him really good. I was trying to get him uppercut and stuff because I figured putting my fist through his skull, taking his heart out through his nose. I don't even know if that's anatomically possible.
we're gonna find out.
Was better than taking my skate and stepping on his throat.
Yeah.
Because even for me, I know that's a little bit.
It's a little
much.
Happy Gilmore-ish.
That was
Yeah.
a little much.
That would be okay.
That's a little much. So so what is it exactly that you do for your day job?
So I manage, there's only 2 office staff at my place. It's the general manager and myself. So I do all of the hotels, rental cars, itineraries, social media, all of our marketing
Todd,
stuff,
hey,
fan guide.
There's a guy, the name for you. It's called Beamer.
Beamer?
Yeah, Todd Beam. That's the travel guy for the Wings.
Yeah.
You take more crap than.
Oh my God, Matt used to call me his PR bitch or PR girl all the time. I was like,
yeah.
that's perfect. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I just do all the sponsor handling and social media on race weekends, and then all the scheduling and all the other stuff during the week.
So would you say that found out it's just building relationships?
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
life's-
That's all it is. And racing's a family. We're all such a small community. We all live in the same, within 20, 30 minutes of each other, and we all travel like a traveling circus everywhere.
Right on. So so you said the Benedetto is who's the other one? McLeod.
Yeah, BJ McLeod.
BJ McLeod. That's awesome, dude. So,
They're both massive guys. You'll see them this weekend. BJ looks like he could fight in WWE. But he fits
a
in a
lot
race
of
car
those
somehow.
guys walking around the pit, and seeing the crew and these tire guys. Yeah, all this stuff. I mean, these are all X this, X that. This.
We have most of our jack guys and fuel guys are former linemen, and our 2 tire changers that pitted for our team last year both played for the Wheeling Nailers, and they were both just the tire changers because they had great hands. So you get some AHL guys, some college football guys, and some guys that got drafted in the NFL really low, and then or got hurt, and then they just come over and do this stuff. So they're like the coolest part. When you go to race, you're like, holy crap, those guys are athletes. And they're running out in front of cars they look like they're going 15 miles an hour, and they're going 45 or 60. And they get hit any moment, get their hand broken.
You've seen it, yeah.
Yeah. They're crazier than the drivers are. I wouldn't do that.
No, dude, that's what I was telling Ronnie. I go, like that pit box looks really nice, or the owner box for the thing. You guys go do your thing, right? So do you think St. Louis is going to wrap it up?
I hope so. We land Sunday at like 10 p.m. I'm hoping I can catch the third period of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it's the storybook way it's supposed to end at home. I'm sure it'll probably go to overtime, but
I hope it goes to overtime. When was the last time we had an overtime one? Was it L.A. series for a clinch?
Martinez.
Yep. Yeah. That was the one where they were down 2 or down 1, and they scored 2 or 3 like back to back, right?
Yeah. Was it that one? Because didn't Kane score in overtime too? But that was before.
Oh, Kane was what they didn't know went in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Yep. Yeah. Didn't Justin Williams have a big goal?
He has all the big goals, except when he's on the Caps. Yeah. He has a big one against us, though.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, that worked out. So other sports or anything?
Nope, just play beer league hockey every Monday, Sundays sometimes, and go travel with the racing stuff, and that's about it. I live a pretty boring life now. Well, I say it's boring, but it's probably not that boring.
Yeah, how many guys that are pretty boring that, like twice a year, they're going to go race at the second highest, stock car racing series in the country? I don't know. Anybody?
And go play a little hockey.
Yeah, I could play. Hey, when I'm going to go out and do some stuff, I got to go golf with these guys. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
I got to pick up golf or something because I know that's good for business, but I just suck. I never had good hands in hockey, so I can't imagine like trying to learn a whole different sport. It's a completely different swing. I can't figure it out at all.
Well, maybe this swing's a little more natural.
Maybe. It can't be worse, right?
Hey, you said you couldn't handle the puck, so maybe it's like,
chipping out, just like Michael said.
Hey, that's
off the glass.
Hey, I made a career. Some of us made a career out of it. All right. Well, thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, of course.
And I appreciate it. We'll definitely.
We're gonna follow him.
Oh, we're gonna follow you.
You're gonna come run the simulator next week, so.
Okay, if I come down there, yeah.
I like it. No, it'll be interesting. But I appreciate everybody out there. Hey, Sunset. So, what's going on? The little update. So, how are things with you? Florida's hot?
Florida's hot. Things are good.
Hot. You're in town because we're geared up, because I couldn't think of who else I watched more races with down in Florida when I was there than this guy. And I learned actually how to watch the race, and I learned that about Denny Hamlin,
strategies and what goes into it. It's more than just making 4 left turns or 400 left turns, however many they make.
Unbelievable, just the intricacies behind the thing. What you've never been to MIS either, right?
I'm sorry?
You've never been to MIS?
No, I've been all over the country seeing races, but this will be my first time here.
What's your favorite track around the country that you've seen a race?
Richmond.
Yep.
It's short track racing with speed is the way I like it.
I want to go to Bristol.
I was going to say Bristol's probably my
I like
favorite.
bumper cars.
Yeah.
I like guys.
Darlington,
That's awesome. But the whole thing is it's so different. Are all the tracks like where you grew up, like Virginia? Are they more of the same size ish, or are there a bunch all different ones that you can race on?
I'd say like when you're grassroots growing up, they're all pretty small. They're like half mile, 3/8, something like that. And then that's why all of us like wish we could just run short tracks all the time. You can show your talent more on a short track. You get to these bigger tracks, it's all engineers and all that crap, and we don't want that stuff. Obviously, we just want to be able to go out there, move people out of the way, and put on a good show. But these like 2-mile tracks like Michigan, it's all about aerodynamics. When you get behind someone, the cars are so aerodynamically dependent that they just like lose all of their aero grip, and then you just basically go slide up the track. You can't pass anybody.
Right, and then you see guys just, like out of the grip or flying down and hit the wrong way, and then
it's going to be a good show on Sunday. I really
so
like
that's a good. Hey, anybody out there, short track racing, you find out who the really, really good drivers are.
Yep.
And a long track is you find out who the really, really good teams are.
Who spends the money?
And who spends the money on R&D, right? Research and development. You learn that, the whole difference. No, guys out there, I'm going to leave you with this. On this Friday evening special edition, I thank my guest, Ryan Ellis, be the number 99 car next weekend in Iowa. and Mike Lynette, who's racing the Xfinity Series tomorrow afternoon at MIS in the number 1 junior motorsports car. Obviously, cool paint scheme. But the bottom line, what was I talking about here?
You were just
I was
wrapping
signing
up.
off. I was rambling. I was signing off, but I was going to get to a point.
I had no idea which one.
Me either. That's what time.
Talking about your week coming up, your crazy.
Oh yeah,
week.
I was gonna segue into that. No, I got a great. I mean, this is bucket list month. I mean, today was a whirlwind for the Russian 5. You haven't got it. Tell everybody to get Russian 5, the movie. I made 9-year-old Ryan Ellis cry. If he watches the movie again, he'll cry because it ends the same way. Right? Exactly. It doesn't change, bro.
He might even be in it. You might see him up there crying.
You
in
might
the
see a little
stands.
Asian kid just in the 400 section, just crying his eyes out.
I love it. Tomorrow I will see everybody up at High Times in Clio for a bit with Barstool Sports, doing a podcast with them, so that should be interesting. And Sunday Pace Car will be at MIS all day. I got a loaded schedule. I get to do driver introductions and this and that and the other thing, and I'm excited. Ronnie's in town. I'm going to go, my Dolce's probably waiting for you, and that's my dog. She'll be happy to see Ronnie, and we're going to get out of here. I thank everybody out there for listening. Ryan and Michael, thank you. Perry, as always, Bam Bam. Ronnie, good to be here. Easus, thanks for taking care of us. B, Mike, fuck you. Anyways, this is Darren McCarty, and every time you remember, no matter how many times you fall down, you got to get your ass back up. That's grind time. We're out.